Hey everyone, welcome to Cross the Ditch and See. My name is Laura and I'm so glad you're here today. It is a brisk day here in eastern North Carolina. The temperatures got down below freezing yet again last night and we had a little wintry precipitation. I still have some ice in my garden and some of my row covers have collapsed a little bit because of the ice on them. So I'm gonna try to get those fixed today. But I am out here picking a few things from the garden to have for supper tonight. Ever since Christmas has passed, we have not been eating the best in the world. So I'm trying to get us back on track, eating a little bit healthier, eating more whole foods instead of processed stuff. Just all in all, just trying to be better, being more healthy overall. So I'm gonna come out here and pick some kale. We chopped up some last night into a salad and it was really good. So I'm gonna do that, pick some radish. I don't think sweet peas are gonna be on the menu because, or not sweet peas, but sugar peas, because I think just these weeks and weeks of freezing temperatures have really got to them. Once again, most of the plants are still doing well, but the pods are just frozen and mushy now. I'm gonna just take a look and see what else is ready in the garden. Maybe I can harvest a few more things for a fresh meal tonight. Once I do that, I'm gonna take you inside. It is the second week of January and it's time to start planting for our spring and summer gardens. Sorry, I had to set my bowl down. It is time to plant for our spring and summer gardens. So I'm gonna take you inside, show you the process of planting for your garden and for ordering or buying seeds, best places to go to get those, and then showing you how I'm going to organize my seeds to kick off my spring and summer garden preparation. It's going to go into a very nice little salad for us tonight for supper. Kale does not mind freezing temperatures whatsoever, so they have done good with this weather, along with our Brussels sprouts and my very loud wind chimes. I love my wind chimes. But as you can see, we have some ice built up on these row covers. So I'm gonna try to break this off and try to harvest anything that may be underneath. Can you see the cabbage? Take a peek real quick. She's doing good. Just want to show you the carrots. Carrots love this cooler weather. They love the damp weather. So it has been perfect here for them. Aren't they beautiful though? I just think the leaves of the carrots are so beautiful. And one thing that drives me nuts about carrots though, I like to be able to see what is growing. But with carrots, they stay underground and you can't really see the progress of it unless you kind of scratch around it like that. You can see the carrot growing. Some of my purple carrots. But like, I just want to pull one out so bad and just see it. But I know it would be a waste of a carrot, so I'm not gonna do it. But I do think it's super cool how they grow, and I love their leaves. They're so pretty to me. But there are my carrots, and they go all the way down to where that hoop is right there. I'm gonna sow some more here in a couple weeks so we can have some on into the warmer months before it gets too warm for them to grow. So real quick on the garden, one thing that I've had to kind of retrain my thought process for the garden in the winter months is how slowly things grow. I'm so used to summertime gardens. I'm gonna be rude and put my sunglasses on, sorry. Much better. In the summertime gardens, things grow so fast, you have to go out and harvest it daily. Something that in the morning was very small, by the time you get home in the afternoons, it'll be mature, like okra. Okra grows so fast, it's crazy. But that's something I've had to retrain myself and remind myself constantly about the winter garden, is things grow so much more slowly. So where I come out and want to look and go, oh, it should be ready, you know, it was this big just a few days ago, so now it should be fully grown. It's not. It takes a lot longer. But I have enjoyed thoroughly eating from this garden. It's been nice to have fresh stuff available right here in the yard instead of having to run to the grocery store. It's right here, and it's healthier and it's fresh, and just the flavor overall is better. All right, enough about this garden. Let's go inside and start talking about our spring and summer garden. I'm excited. All right, back inside. Let's talk about planning for our spring and summer gardens. This is exciting for me. I am excited to start seeds again and get those going. I have taken the winter to educate myself a little bit more on how to be more successful with the spring and summer gardens, and I want to try a few new things, so I wanted to learn a little bit more about it so I could be better prepared. So when it comes to planning for your spring and summer gardens, first you need to know what zone you live in. So I'm in zone 8A, and it's really good to get specific information for the area, not just the zone, such as your average frost dates. So my average last frost date is April the 4th, and my average first frost date is October 31st. And this past year in 2020, with our average last frost date in the spring being April the 4th, it did that, and it did really well for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden in May we had a cold snap out of nowhere, and we had frost and freezing temperatures. So it was a rush for a couple of days to cover everything in the garden that had been growing so it wouldn't get killed by the frost for those few nights. So we pretty much had like every bed sheet and every blanket in the house out in the garden. Hence why I invested in row covers this year, so we wouldn't have to worry about that in the future. But so do that for where you live, and then I do that by just Googling average frost dates for, and then I put the zip code in. I like to reference the USDA website. I also like to reference the Farmer's Almanac. And the cool thing with the Farmer's Almanac is you can go in there, you put in your zip code, it gives you your frost dates, your average frost dates. That's, once again, that's not a solid. It's somewhere around there is usually when it happens. It can be weeks before, it can be weeks after, but that's just a ballpark figure, an average for the area. But the cool thing about the Farmer's Almanac is it gives you a planting guide also. So if you're starting seeds indoors, it tells you when to start those seeds indoors. It tells you when to transplant the seedlings outside, or to straight sow your seeds outside into the dirt. So it also tells you, you know, it gives you harvest information, all that good stuff. So it's a great resource. That's what I printed off here. But the very first thing to do after you learn about your frost dates and your zone is to find out what grows good in your area, and out of the stuff that grows well in your area, what do you like to eat? What does your family like to eat? You don't need to go out because people on the internet tell you you should plant this, you should plant that, and it's something that you don't particularly care for. You should plant the stuff that you and your family eat. And if you have the space, or you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of space to try new seed, then go right ahead and do that. But focus on planning for what you and your family like to eat. I have to brag a little bit. My kids are pretty good about eating a lot of different types of fruits and vegetables. They each have ones that they do like and they don't like, but for the most part, they'll eat most of what I grow out in the garden. So that's a blessing. But, excuse me. But focus on the things that your family likes, and then from there, you know, if you have the space, you can experiment with some other stuff. I always encourage folks to plant flowers as well. I kind of got hung up a couple years ago where, no, I want to utilize every little inch of my garden beds to plant vegetables and stuff for my family, and I want to try in my little garden beds in the backyard to get just enough out of it that maybe I'll have some to preserve as well for the winter time. But you need a little bit of color. It's kind of nice. My dog is playing with an antler. But it's nice to have that pop of color in the garden. It brings a lot of cheer. I enjoy walking outside and see pretty flowers. Plus it attracts pollinators to your garden. And for a lot of fruits and vegetables, you need those bees to come in. You need the pollinators to come in and sniff all the little flowers. So they'll get pollinated and they'll produce the fruits and vegetables that you want. So definitely incorporate some flowers into your garden as well. Another great thing about flowers is they can deter certain types of pests. So you get a bonus. You get something pretty, you get something to attract pollinators, and you can get stuff that will deter other pests. Marigolds are great for deterring a lot of pests in your garden, but there's other flowers out there that you can do it with as well. So once you figure out the things that you want to plant, whether it's the food that you like to eat, your family likes to eat, and maybe some flowers that you like to grow, or herbs, things of that nature, figure out what all of that grows well in your area. Look at the space you have available so you know about how many plants you'll need to fill that space and to grow without overcrowding too much. Once you do that, then it is time to start buying seeds. Last year in 2020, there was a huge push. A lot of people got into gardening last year that had never really gardened before, or either they bumped up their garden operations to a larger scale, and so seeds sold out pretty quickly. So there's a big push and across the gardening world that it is advisable to go ahead and get your seeds and get them early, just in case there's another seed shortage like there was last year. Some of the places that you can get seeds are you can go to like local farm supply stores and get them. We have a actual local store here that like a local person owns and runs. It's a farm supply company, and that's where I get my okra seeds. I have bought okra seeds from big box stores. I have ordered okra seeds before, and they just never did as good as the ones from this particular farm store. So I always get my okra seeds from there. And a lot of times you're truly like mom and pop local farm supply stores. In the end, a lot of times their seeds end up being cheaper than big box stores, especially if you are buying a lot of them, because they will sell them to you by like the scoop, by the ounce, by the quarter pound, by the pound, however you want to buy them. So I actually save money in buying my seeds that way. Let me see. For example, I plant a lot of okra. Since my neighbor lets me use the garden area at his house to plant, I was able to expand gardening this past year, which was awesome. And I needed to buy more seeds. So, trying to get this out without ripping my bag. So, oh, those are my beans. These are beans. Where are my okra seeds? They're buried in here somewhere. Well, we'll just use, oh, I must have used them all. Oh well. So we'll just use this for an example. Say your standard pack of seeds. My seeds are falling out everywhere. I have so many. These aren't bean seeds, but let's say you are growing bush beans, your green beans, your snap beans, whatever you want to call them, pole beans, whatever type of green beans you like to grow. If you're buying them from a big box store or like a mail order seed company, a lot of times for a packet this size, so you know your standard seed packet, you're gonna pay $2, $3, $4 for maybe 20 seeds tops. And for a small backyard garden, that may be a gracious plenty. But I was planting a larger area than usual and I went to my mom and pop local farm store, and I bought some green bean seeds from them, which I had done that in the past too. But I got this bag, which granted, I probably used about half of them, but I got what I call a half a scoop, and it was $3. I don't know if you can see that, $3.30. So this bag, I tore it off to kind of keep from having so much bag to deal with. So this is your standard lunch bag. So it was probably about this tall, and the seeds were just below half full in here for $3.30. So definitely a lot cheaper than you know, $3, $4 pack of seeds from a big box store or other places. And there's still a ton of seeds in here. I keep them in a temperature controlled area. That way, the ones that I have left over, I can replant for next year. And there's still, you can see, there's that many seeds left. That'll be more than what I'll need for the upcoming season. So I won't have to buy green bean seeds this year. Same thing for our butter beans, or some people call them lima beans, but the butter beans, same thing for them. I paid $2.50 for the same size bag. So another reason I say check with a local farm supply store, particularly mom and pop style operations, is because it's always great to support local businesses. You definitely want to support those in your community first and foremost. Other places to get seeds, obviously I mentioned a couple times, your big box stores. You can get seeds from there. And their seeds are perfectly fine to use. There's a group that I am in on Facebook, and there's a lot of people in there that are like, you should only buy from one seed company. And this particular individual asked, you know, hey, look, I can't afford to buy seeds from this seed company, but my local big box store sells seeds pretty cheap. I found some at the Dollar Tree also. You know, are these seeds perfectly fine to use? And you know, some people had commented, no, you need to go with this company because we know they're a great company, they're reputable, but their seeds were rather expensive. This person expressed an interest in gardening. She wanted to get into gardening, but she couldn't afford the seeds from that particular company. And so I went up there and I commented, you know, hey, those seeds are perfectly fine. I've bought and used those seeds before. I still buy and use those seeds from time to time. They're perfectly fine to use. They're seeds. They're garden seeds. And, you know, provide the suggestion, once you start gardening and you get comfortable with it, then start looking into seed saving. That way, you know, you won't have to buy seeds. But anywho, back off my soapbox. Find companies that you like. Find companies that have good germination rates. And I'll say sometimes it can be hit and miss. Sometimes you can have, you know, you can buy seeds from the same place every year. They've always done great, and then you have a bad year with them. You know, it happens. But you can get them from you can get your seeds from your local farm supply stores. You can get them from big box stores, or you can do like mail order seeds. I get some seeds from mail order catalogs as well. Here is my stack from this year. I have no shame in it. I enjoy looking through them. There are so many things in these catalogs that I want to grow, but where we are now and the space we have available, I don't grow them because we just don't have that much space, and I want to keep growing what my family likes. And usually each year I'll try one or two new things, but I don't want to dump a lot of money because money's limited, like in most people's cases. I don't want to dump a lot of money into stuff that I don't know whether or not my family will eat. But there's a lot of great seed companies out there, mail order. You can Google and look at reviews and stuff. I highly recommend that. I highly recommend supporting small mom and pop seed operations. But there's some good reputable companies out there. I actually get a lot of my seeds from, you know, the ones that I don't get here local. I get them from Johnny's Seed Company. I have had great success with their seeds. My Sugar Daddy beans out there were from Johnny's, and I had a really great germination rate with them. I've gotten several types of cucumbers and tomatoes, lettuces, and calendula. I bought that from them. I've got quite a few seeds from them that I'm going to try this year. They have really good prices on their seeds. You get a lot of seed. Their seed packets are the same price that you'd pay at like a big box store, $2, $3, sometimes $4, but you get more seeds in the seed packets from Johnny's than you would at that big box store. So you're actually getting more seeds for your dollar. They have a really great selection. This is a really thick catalog. It's 245 pages. So they have a great selection in here. This is a chicken catalog. Don't need to worry about that. I remember my parents receiving this catalog in the mail when I was younger, Gurney's. I haven't ordered anything from them, but I want to look at some of the stuff that they have to offer. Select Seeds, another company to order seeds from. I haven't ordered from them yet, but they have a lot of great reviews. I want to order from them. One of the most common seeds that you see in grocery stores are from Burpee. They have some really good seeds. I have a lot of seeds from them that have a really great germination rate, and I see some really pretty flowers on the back that I would like to order. But Burpee does really good. Seed Savers Exchange, I've never ordered from them. There's a couple things in here that I would like to get and try, so I'm going to give them a try this year. They have a lot of fantastic reviews as well for their products. And then you have Baker Creek. I have ordered quite a bit from them. They do have a really good germination rate, and when you order from them, they'll send you, they have free shipping, and they send you a free pack of seed to go along with your order. So I actually am going to order some more wasabi radish from them. They're kind of offline right now because they've had some delays and stuff due to COVID, but they are supposed to come back online this upcoming week, I think. So I'm gonna try to get there and get some wasabi radish seeds. So recap, figure out what zone you're in, look at your frost dates for the area that you're in, decide what you want to plant, decide how much space you have to plant, and then buy your seeds. So here we are. And then once your seeds come in, you know, figure out when to plant your seeds, whether you're going to direct sow them into the ground, or if you are going to start them early, like under a grow light, or start them in your house and then transplant them outside. So right here is, I know it's really hard to see, but I got this off of the Farmer's Almanac website, and I just printed it off. It allows you to print it, and it has everything that grows well in my area. It has it listed in order by when I want to start my seeds indoors. So the very first thing that I want to grow this year, because I want to establish a little bit better herb garden at my home, the first thing I can start is thyme. So the earliest you can start your seeds indoors between the dates of January 23rd and February the 20th. So I think I will be starting those in about 2 weeks. Another one you can start around that January 23rd mark. You've got rosemary, which I have like rosemary bushes at my house. So anytime I want to do rosemary, I just propagate those and spread them around. Rosemary is really good natural insect repellent too, so you can use that in your garden. Bees like it, but a lot of the other pests and stuff don't like it. Celery, eggplants, oregano, bell peppers. I'm definitely going to get my peppers started early. Peppers take a long time to grow from the time that you plant them to the time that they start to produce their fruit. So I would like to start my peppers a lot earlier this year, and that way they'll have longer to grow, and hopefully I'll have a longer time to get a longer time for them to produce the peppers. We can get more off the plant. And then it moves into the, so those are all the things that like the last week of January for the area I live in northeastern North Carolina, to plant. Then it starts moving into your first week of February. Sage, kale, radish, cauliflower, broccoli. The cool thing about radish, have mercy, radish and kale, cauliflower, and broccoli, they are cool weather crops. So you're going to go ahead and get those started indoors, get them grown a little bit, and then transplant them outside. So with your radish, you direct sow those. They don't do the best with transplant. But cauliflower and broccoli, you start them that first week of February, and then a month later, the first week of March, you're going to transplant them outside. They do well in frost and freezing temperatures. Believe it or not, the first week of February is a great time to start your tomato seeds as well. So it just goes down the list in order and tells you the best time to start seeds indoors for your area. So I recommend you going online to the Farmer's Almanac and just putting in your zip code. It'll give you your frost dates, your average first and last frost dates, and then it'll also give you this guide for the best time to transplant or to start your seedlings. And the cool thing about the Farmer's Almanac, you know, you can plant based upon frost dates, but you can also plant based on moon dates. Moon dates is where how, I guess you could say the old school way, how a lot of people used to plant based on the moon cycle. So that's actually how I was taught to plant potatoes. So it gives you your frost dates, your moon dates for starting your seedlings, or when you can plant outside. So do that, get a copy of that. Next thing, after you've done all that, and then your seed orders start to arrive in the mail, you do the happy dance when you go to the mailbox. I will back up. There are two companies that I have bought seeds from online that I have had amazing success with, and one of them is like my go-to, and I will say Haas Tools. Haas Tools is my go-to for seeds. I have yet to I cannot talk, y'all. I'm very sorry. I have yet to have a bad experience with their seeds. I'm gonna knock on some wood for that. But a lot of the seeds that I plant are from Haas Tools, and I get so excited when I get more in the mail because I just look forward to planting them. And there's several in here that I'll actually be able to put in the ground here soon. Another one that I've had really great success with is M.I. Gardener. I have a few things in my garden right now from them, and I planted a few things this past summer from them, and his seeds do really well, and I was excited to be able to get my hands on particularly some peppers, pepperoncini, because my husband loves pepperoncini, and then shishito peppers. I wanted to give those a try. So I'm excited to try these because I've had really good success with the ones that I started this past summer. But I definitely recommend you look up Haas, because Haas I have had amazing success with. I love them. A lot of my seeds, I would say the majority of my seeds, come from the local mom and pop farm supply store, Johnny's, and Haas Tools. I would honestly say probably the majority of my garden is them, and then I have quite a bit of the others mixed in there, but these are the majority of them in there. But yeah. So the next thing you do after you start buying seeds or you start receiving them in the mail is you want to organize them. And this is how I have been organizing and keeping my seeds. I have them in Ziploc bags to keep moisture and stuff off of them, and I have them sorted by kind of what type of seed they are. So I have broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts in there. As you can tell, Haas Tools is right there on the front and the back. Sorry for the glare from the sunlight. All of my cucumbers are in this bag. So there's my M.I. Gardner Armenian yard-long cucumber. I haven't planted these yet. I'm looking forward to trying them this year. And then right behind it is Haas, and then right behind that's a Baker Creek. These are different types of melons. So I've got some Johnny's and some Baker Creek in here. I've got some cantaloupe and some sugar baby watermelons in here. I love growing sugar baby watermelons because we are growing in the city in a small yard, so we have small space. So those sugar baby watermelons, while the vines do spread out, you get a lot of watermelon off of that vine. And so it's in relation to other types of watermelon vines, your sugar baby isn't quite as big as the others. But as you can tell, that's just how I break down how I store my seeds, by what type of seed it is. All my peppers are here, pumpkins. These are like whole beans, green beans, things like that. So that's kind of how I have these sorted out right now. Tomatoes, squash, zucchini, my onions, okra, lettuce, herbs. There's my herbs. So that's kind of how I've been sorting things out. And my radish is probably my biggest collection because, as you hear me say time and time again, I sure do love radish. But this is kind of how I've been sorting and storing my seeds. But I have seen a lot of people using a different method of storing, and it's actually using boxes. I think you can see them here. Let me move this. Move all these out of the way. But using these style of boxes, these are actually like photo storage boxes. So you have your big plastic case, but then you have your smaller individual cases in here. So you could put your seeds the exact same way I have them stored now, like put all of my radish, which I'm pretty sure with all of these radish seeds that I have, it'll take about 4 cases. But you can put all of them in the case, and then you can put like a piece of tape or write on it with a Sharpie and label it. So you can do it that way, or whatever method you find works well for you to sort them out. And just a fun fact, if you don't know this, I guess I've been surprised with how many people don't know this trick. If you write on a hard non-porous surface with a Sharpie, most of the time you can get that Sharpie off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I have learned that trick because I like to use Sharpie on a lot of stuff. And I apologize for shaking the camera. I've got you sitting on the table. What is it, puppy? Quit kicking my arm. You want to say hey to everybody? Want to say hey to everybody? Yeah. Alright, go play. Go play. What? I don't have anything to eat. Yes, I'm sitting at the table, but there's nothing to eat. There's nothing to eat. He loves attention, and now he's looking out the window. Sorry, had to have a water break. All right, so transitioning to the seed storage, I kind of touched on it a while ago. I've been storing my seeds this way for a little while, but I wanted to give this storage method a try. I actually have 2 boxes here. I think altogether these were like 20 bucks, so it's a purchase, but it's more of an investment because these are going to last a long time. But and I think I paid like $20-$25 for both of them together. I got them on Amazon. I'll see if I can find the link and show it to you. But I saw someone recently share, I think it was on Instagram, how she does her how she sorts her seeds, and I found it quite interesting. And like most people in the world, I stay busy, and so sometimes, unless I have something very obvious in front of me going, hey, you know, this week you need to start these seeds, you know, in your seed trays, I'm not going to really think about it, or I'm going to put it off, or I'm going to be super stressed going, oh, what seeds am I supposed to start this week, or when's it best to do this, and trying to sort through and find everything and keep up with the calendar, and it would just cause a lot of stress just to me. That's just me. So she shared that when she sorts her seeds or organizes her seeds, that on the outside of these little cases, she puts like, say the things that I named a while ago that you would plant the last week of January. She would put all of those seeds in here. So you would have a mix of different types of seeds, but everything in this case gets started the last week of January. So then you file it in here at the very front, so you know, okay, this one gets started first. So in here, because I can't remember off the top of my head, so I would put a lot of my herbs in here. So the time that I'm going to start, I haven't quite gotten into growing my own celery yet. That's something I want to expand on in the future. So I would put my thyme, my eggplants, my oregano, and my bell peppers. I would put those seeds in here for the ones that I want to grow. And then I would put my little sticker on the front that would say January 23rd, that week, start these seeds. And it would make it easy. And it also breaks it down so you're only starting a few at a time. You're not trying to start 500 different types of seeds at one time. That's an exaggeration, at least for me. I don't think I can fit that many plants in my yard, even though I would certainly try. So I'm going to set this up here just so I don't have to keep looking to the side to reference it. So then that was my first container. Then my second container, I would go through and I would find my seeds, and I would put, let's go with my kale. I do want to try to grow some sage, so I would put like sage and kale in here for that second week or that first week of February. My cauliflower, my broccoli, my tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, basil. I love basil. I would put all those in here, and I would put a sticker or a piece of tape or just write directly on it on the outside, the date of February 6th. So I know that week to start some of those seeds. And it's not, all things are lost if you don't plant it that week. That's just the earliest is recommended to plant them indoors. You could start them indoors later than that, but that's just the earliest. So they won't be too mature in the little seed cups. They'll be mature enough, but they won't be too big for when you move them outside. Because if they get too big sitting in the seed cups, then they're going to lose their nutrition. They're going to get root bound, and they're just not going to be happy. So these are just your earliest starting your seed dates. You kind of get the picture. So my first two are in there. So my third one we'd move to later on in February, the second, third week. Planting my radish outdoors. I can actually sow those directly into the ground. They don't mind freezing temperatures one bit. Half of my radishes uncovered outside. They're still growing. They're still doing good. So I could start sowing directly into the ground radish that second, third week of February. And then other seeds that I could start during that time, Swiss chard. Never grown it. Kind of on the fence about it. It's one of those things, I've actually never had Swiss chard, so I don't know if I like it. I don't know if my kids like it, so that might be one of those things I buy a pack of it, like at the farmer's market or the grocery store, or a bundle of it, and just see if we like it, like we eat it and we like it. And if we do, then I might start growing. That's kind of how we try things out. You can actually start peas and spinach outdoors that last week of February where I live. Once again, that's specifically for where I live. But so I would take that third cassette and go, hey, the second, third week or the third week of February, I'm gonna direct sow these indoors, and then I would take a separate case and go, I'm gonna start my seedlings indoor in one case, and then the next one be direct sow outdoors. So I could put my spinach and my radish in that other case, and that way I know I can go right out to the garden and plant those things. I could put my lettuces in that third case. Kohlrabi, never had it, would love to try it. Looks really cool when it grows. I mean, it's a really cool looking plant, but I've never had it. I would love to try it. I might have to run to the fresh market because I saw they had some and get some to try. Once again, that's kind of how we try out new things that we don't like before we invest in seeds and growing space. But you get the picture. So that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to sort these seeds, and the ones down here and the ones that have come in the mail recently. I want to sort them by planting date for when I want to sow them indoors for starting my seeds indoors so they can start growing, or for direct sowing outside. So that's what I'm going to start doing right now. So, I'm sorry, puppy. He just gave me an evil look, like, how dare you make that much noise? So I'm going to take my first cassette. I think I said my thyme, my rosemary. I usually propagate my rosemary from the multiple rosemary bushes that are around our yard, because I can just cut them off and grow them. But let's see, I don't know that I have eggplant seed. I love to grow eggplant, and my neighbor, she loves eggplant, and I planted some last year for her. There's my herbs. So I'm gonna probably order some eggplant seeds also, because I can't believe I forgot that. Oregano's in there. Bell peppers. Where are my peppers? I saw peppers somewhere. They're flowers. There's no peppers. Alright. So, another place to get information about when and how to plant your seeds is directly off your seed pack. Any good reputable seed company is going to put the information on the back of your seeds. It's another good way to keep up with what kind of seeds you have. Before you even start ordering seeds, do a seed inventory to see what you already have, because I have multiples of pepper and seed. But that's okay, because you can keep most seeds as long as you keep them away from moisture and keep them, you know, kind of cool. They'll keep for a couple of years. But I'll look at the back of them and get some information on it. So these Peperoncinis from M.I. Gardener, it tells me on the back of it, I can start these indoors 8 to 12 weeks before my last frost. My last frost average here is April the 4th. This tells me to plant peppers the last week of January to the first week of February, according to frost dates. So that's right in line with what they recommend on the seed pack. So I would definitely put these into my little box to plant the last week of January. Let's see. Do I have any more peppers in here? I have so many seeds all over the place. It's crazy. Let's see. Let's see what I've ordered recently. Cabbage, squash, honeydew melon. I love honeydew, it's so good. Broccoli. Some more collards. Once again, I'm not a fan of collards, at least not until we made that collard chowder, and yes. So we're gonna amp up our collard production next year. Cucumbers. Oh, there's some more peppers. 8 to 12 weeks. Throw them in there. Bell peppers. 8 to 12 weeks. I like growing bell peppers. They're pretty, and I like to cook with them. Kale. All right. Let's see what other kind of peppers I have in here, and I'm sure, yep, there's some more seeds floating around. These are some from Baker Creek. So remember, I told you that when you order peppers, or not peppers, but when you order seeds from Baker Creek, they'll always include a free seed pack. I've gotten Tom Thumb lettuce. That's how I got my Tom Thumb lettuce seeds. I got those, and I've gotten the purple mustard greens. I've got something else, can't remember what it is, but with my last order, I actually got Russian red or Ragged Jack kale. And it's like a really pretty, like, purple color. So I'm excited to try that. I ordered my husband some Apocalypse scorpion peppers from Baker Creek. I don't do hot peppers, but he loves them. So I got those. So they're planting instructions 12 weeks before the last frost date. Start them indoors. So that goes in line with that. I'm gonna put them right there. Kajari melon. I've heard a lot of people talk about how good these are. Never tried them. The way that they have been described to me sounds pretty tasty. So this is gonna be the plant that I sacrifice a piece of my garden for to try this year. I've never grown loofah before, definitely interested in that. And a couple people at the community garden wanted to try to grow some loofah, so I bought some seeds to try here and at the community garden. Bok choy, I'm excited for these. I ordered some wasabi arugula because we love any lettuce style plant, and I love anything with a little bite to it. A little bite, not like my husband. He likes stuff that like burns your insides. And I guess these were two separate Baker Creek orders, so I got another free seed pack. And it is a type of lettuce, and I am not going to try to pronounce it. It's Rogue Dehyver. I have no clue. But that was another free seed pack that I got from Baker Creek, so I'll try those too. But anywho, squirreling, jumping around, sorry. So I have my pepper seeds in here. I have a few more mini bell peppers. We'll definitely get those. Our Dragonfire cayennes. These are seeds that I saved from a plant that we had last year. I actually have 2 packs of them. I'll put them in there. Mamma Mia peppers and jalapeno peppers. I have some more jalapeno pepper seeds in here that are loose. I'm going to really amp up our jalapenos this year because the cowboy candy that I made last year, which I did a video on. So go back and look at that. That was a huge hit. Everybody that has tried it has loved it. So I'm going to plant a bunch of jalapenos this year so we can get a lot more. All right, so I'm going to fit these in here, and then we said thyme and oregano. Here's my oregano. Thyme. Okay. So there's my thyme and my oregano. I actually got these from Tractor Supply. And I've planted, I think some of my basil last year was from Tractor Supply, and they did really good too. So this is everything from January 23rd, and I forgot to grab a Sharpie, so I will do that in a minute. So I'm just gonna write on the outside of this box, January 23rd. So I know that week I'm going to plant these plants. Maybe not directly on January 23rd, but somewhere around that time frame, I'm gonna plant these. And I guess I'll get my next box out, start with my first week of February, and put those in there. All right, just to show you what I've done so far. So I took that first week, like I was talking about, doing my thyme and my oregano and my peppers, and I put them all in this case together. And I put, I don't know if you can see that too well, January 23rd through February the 20th. I could not find my Sharpie, so I used an ink pen, and I put a piece of tape over top of it. I put a piece of tape down first, and then put a piece of tape over top of it. That way it wouldn't rub off until I could find my Sharpie. My radish, I did a little different because it took 2 cases to get my radish all in there. But I put up here radish direct sow February 6th through 27th. So I did that for both of those. So you kind of see I did my what do you see, pup? I did my broccoli, my cauliflower, my cabbage, my Brussels sprouts, and my kale. Don't eat those. All together in the same way. So you kind of see an example of what I am talking about. For me, at least in my mind, I think it will make it easier keeping up with when I need to start my seedlings in my seed trays on a heat mat or in a sunny window or something, just somewhere warm, where they'll germinate, and then move them to my grow light underneath the carport. That way they can continue to grow and they'll be ready to transplant when it's time to do so. So it gives them a little head start, a little leg up, and that way we'll start getting production out of them a little bit early. But yeah, that's the method I'm going to give a try. I feel like it'll just help me keep up with when to do this, help me keep up just a little bit better. Okay, so once I get all my seeds organized, then I'm going to put these back in the closet where the temperature stays pretty cool, and make a little, I don't know, I think I'll draw like a flower or something on the calendar for the week of the 23rd, so it'll trigger my memory, hey, time to start seeds. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. I know it was kind of a long video and a lot of information, but I wanted to share that part with you. I'm excited about giving this method a try this year. I honestly feel like it is going to be a lot easier with keeping up exactly when I need to start these seeds. And hopefully I'll have a more successful garden. We shall see. It's almost time. But the next step to preparing for your spring and summer garden is to make sure you have all the supplies you need. So if you are planning to start seeds, like for me, I've got about 2.5 weeks before I start my first set of seeds. So I'm going to take that time to make sure that all of my seed starting trays are clean. I want to wash them this year really well. I had a lot of issues in the past few years with like disease and stuff in my plants, and so I have since learned that if I wash my seed trays and my nursery pots that I use year after year out, that it should eliminate any of the bacteria or the fungi that may be kind of hanging out in there. So I'm gonna work on that in the upcoming days, and then I am going to make sure I have my seed starting soil that I want to use. I don't use anything fancy. I just go to our local farm supply store and pick up a few bags of soil to start our seeds in. So I'll get all that together. I'll make sure, start working on my tools, make sure they're good to go. So I will take you along once I start doing all that, letting you know how I start preparing for planting as well. Well, that is it for this video. Like I said a while ago, I'm sorry it was kind of lengthy, and I hope I didn't lose anyone in my rambling. But I hope this helps you in some way to start preparing for your spring and summer garden. And if you have never had a garden before and you feel a little bit overwhelmed about getting started, I really hope that this helps you a little bit. Like I said a while ago, I'll take you along as I start doing the rest of our garden preparations. That way we can have the most bountiful garden ever. I'm hoping that's what happens this year at least. So I'm sure gonna give it a try. But thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you come back to see me again. And if you like what you saw today, be sure to give it a thumbs up with the like button, hit the subscribe button below, and definitely come back to see me again. Thank you so much. Hope you have a blessed day.